How does the random chance and all that account for time? There was your dolphin sending out a signal. How do they know with random chance that it will ever come back?
Yeah, how do they know that echo would be reflected back, right? And they needed reception equipment to receive the echo. Yeah, hopefully that's a rhetorical question there. Yeah, you know, and students need to be thinking that way. Students are being taught what to think. They're not being taught how to think. Okay, and that's a great critical thinking question right there, yes.
Yeah, there's another one too. It's like if you have a school of dolphins, and they're all sending out echoes, or sending out clicks.
Right.
They have to be able to recognize their own. It's like we're all talking in the room. We gotta know our voices.
That is true. And mother dolphins, when they're in their pod, and they can pick out their baby from other babies there. So yeah, so there's that specific signal that they're looking for, which is their young only, in case they get separated or whatever. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. When we talk about the starlings, those are the birds that fly in what are called murmurations. And maybe you've heard this or seen footage, usually in Europe. These are huge flocks of birds. We're talking thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. Some scientists say even millions of birds that fly in unison together. And so you'll see just basically cover the whole sky, and birds will swoop down and move this way and then zip back down and come up and then zip back down, and left and right, and they're all doing it simultaneously together, and just perfect orchestration. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of birds. It's like a black cloud that's alive there. And it's called a murmuration. And the starlings somehow can signal, I guess. We don't know how they're doing this. We don't know how. Can you imagine jet fighter planes doing that? Just, one mistake and we've got a total disaster. Probably a chain reaction of disasters happening. But the birds never run into each other. They never touch each other. They know exactly when to zip this way and jerk this way. It's fantastic. Okay. Another mystery. Yes, sir.
Yes, I know that swarms of fish will do the same thing.
Yes. Schools of fish darting in and out, up and down, is exactly right. Yeah.
But to continue on, David, you've made a lot of relationships today about the balance of plants to animals, animals to earth, earth to water, and you've talked about Hebrew language and some scripture. Mm-hmm. How did you learn to tie all these things together? Like, what is your background to be able to pull these bits together and get a presentation like this?
Well, I've been an educator at the secondary level, so junior high, high school, for over 31 years. That ended about 3.5 years ago. But I've spent over 3 decades in the classroom. I've taught almost every 6th through 12th grade science class, except for human anatomy, physiology, which is what our school nurse did. But almost every other science course, I've taught several different types of curriculum there. And I just love learning personally, just individually. I've been a lifelong learner my whole life, and I think that's one of the great joys of living is learning. And so I like to read. I like to, even though my background's in geology, I try to read astronomy books. I try to read physics books. I try to read biology books there. And I try to keep myself grounded in Scripture. But I'm trying to be not the kind of scientist that knows only my field. I kind of want to know what other scientists are doing and how this field relates to this field of science. I think we need more of that. I think we need scientists to actually communicate across discipline boundaries to other scientists, because it's all one creation and it is orchestrated and is interrelated. And when we get so focused in our own field, we kind of don't know what's going on in the other field, and we're probably missing out on huge discoveries if only we would communicate with each other. So that's kind of where I am. I kind of want to base my science in the Bible. And I know from teaching that a lot of textbooks need to be rewritten. A lot of false information has crept in to textbooks. A lot of tradition. A lot of supposed science that has no experimental backing, no observation. It's strictly theory that's presented as fact. Got to be careful about that. And so, yeah, I look back and I think, well, you know, I taught this to students years ago, and it was totally wrong because the book was totally wrong. And I know better now. So I have to keep learning so that I don't get stuck in a rut, academically speaking. So, I don't know. I think we're supposed to love God with all of our mind, you know, all of our heart, our soul, strength, our mind, and we're supposed to be able to give an answer of the hope that lies within us. And the only way I know to do that is to keep learning.